Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the show. This is Back to the Window with Scott and Scott. I am your host, Scott Steehn, lead handicapper at winnersandwiners.com.
And I'm your co-host, Scott Reichel, senior handicapper over winnersandwiners.com.
And together we do this every single day as we get together and bring you our favorite picks as we help you in that journey to head back to the window. Scott, how'd your day go yesterday?
Overall, went pretty well. Can't complain. Hit the play of the day. Hit a couple of plays in tennis. This morning or this afternoon, not so much. Unfortunately, I picked the right guy, but I got a bit too greedy. I ended up taking Chilich to win in 3 or 4 sets. And of course, he won in 5. So I picked the right guy, but you can rip up my ticket.
Yeah, I got a little greedy, huh? Tried to...
A little bit. I tried to turn plus 110 into plus 190.
Yep.
And said I turned it into 0.
Happens to the best of us, my man. Check in with some guys here in the comment section. Brandon Kubas, he's hooked. You got a WNBA junkie now, Scott. You happy?
Well, we got a winner. So, yeah. It probably didn't deserve to hit, if I'm being honest. The Mystics ended up scoring a decent amount of points in the final couple minutes. But when you have a team total of 85.5 and the other team intentionally fouls down about 13 with 25 seconds left,
Gotta love it.
I'll settle with 87.
Gotta love it. Women, the eternal optimist. That's what makes them so great, Scott.
Yep.
G Money in the house says, let's make some money. Brandon Zerfus. Brandon finally made it for the start of a show. All right. Welcome aboard, buddy. See, you missed all the excitement. James Mounts in the hizzy. What's up, James? Bronco Devil pulling double duty today. We saw him over on the other show. And Bronco Devil says, there's no way you rolled the background into Studio B that fast. Yeah, that's what I told him. I said, that's the hardest part about changing the studios is rolling my backdrop all the way down the street to the other studio. But
well, it's even harder. It's even harder though if you're Allie, because you have to go to about 7 different studios for the backgrounds.
Man, she's got a huge house, doesn't she?
Yeah.
All right, very good. It's good to have you guys here. We appreciate everybody stopping by to check out the show. Of course, all we ask. What do we ask, Scott?
Like and subscribe.
That's it. That's all we ask. Smash that thumb. Make sure you get subscribed. And it's important that you subscribe not just to the Winners and Wonders YouTube channel, but we've been threatening it. It's like we've been saying we're going to turn this car around. Well, we're all the way across the state of Kansas, but we're going to do it. June the 13th, the show will be available exclusively on the Max Wagers Network. That'll be the one and only place you can catch me and Scott. Of course, you can still catch our individual picks as we do those every day. You can catch those on Winners and Wonders. But if you want us live, if you want us in beautiful color there on your YouTube screen, Max Wagers Network is going to be the way to go. Speaking of the Max Wagers Network, a lot of great content all day long, and some shows that don't even involve me, so that's cool. Sean Higgs, Midday Money at noon. Allie Burns, bringing you Morning Wood at 1 o'clock. Me and Chris at 2. Scott and I doing it here at 3 p.m. 4 o'clock, Sean Miller talking about soccer from around the world. And 5 o'clock, Detroit Lenny and the Earl Boys, Tim and Nick, bring it all home with Game Time Decision. Were you happy about the Djokovic Nadal outcome, Scott?
I had both players to win a set, so yeah, I made money on it. Of course, I was rooting for Djokovic, but Nadal played well. Djokovic had a shot there to serve for the 5th, or to force a 5th, and Nadal broke back. But yeah, Nadal controlled most of the action. Djokovic had a couple of spurts, but on the given just average points, it seemed like Nadal always got the better end.
Yep.
Can't say I'm fully shocked. I had Djokovic winning, but when you go against the greatest clay court player of all time, I'm not going to be totally shocked that Nadal pulled it out.
Tom Brady beat me again? What? How could that be?
Yeah. Plus 200.
I get it. Larry Sports Talk in the house. What's up, Larry? And he sends out a welcome to the good people in the chat. And we do have fun. Some of the best handicappers in the chat of anywhere I've seen. Because I watch other people's videos. I watch live chat. Those guys are donkeys compared to these people right here, Scott.
I can't relate because, I can't read. So, there you go.
Andrew says it was an intense match. It was. Scott, it was very frustrating. As I've mentioned many times, I have YouTube TV. I like a lot of aspects of it. However, it does not have the tennis channel. ESPN did not have the tennis match on. The only way I could watch it, you sent me a link, and I don't know if somebody was shooting that on a still camera, but I would get about 10 seconds of action and then about 30 seconds of freeze. Mm-hmm. So it was better than I could keep up with the score kind of in real time, but It was not great. It was not great at all. So did you have some of the same problems? Was it the feed?
No, I have the tennis channel.
Oh, you son of a bitch. Son of a bitch.
Pay extra for the cable package.
Dude, I couldn't pay more for what I have right now.
You don't understand.
I'm maxed out on sports.
Channel.
What's
I'm
that?
up at 4 in the morning. I need something to watch.
Well,
Give me some tennis in Europe.
I was surprised they didn't have it. I've got the golf channel. I've got the poker channel. I've got 2 gambling channels.
Wait, you have Poker Go?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I would have traded it all for the tennis channel yesterday.
I thought about getting the Poker Go a couple of years ago. Then COVID happened, and now half the tournaments are online. Of course, now they do have some more in-person stuff opening up. But there was a period where I actually thought about getting Poker Go for a month, and I never ended up doing it.
Oh, there you go. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. Great match. And Scott, if you maybe would have bet some money on Nadal, you'd have been happy. What was that? What was the odds going into that match?
2-1.
So there you go. At plus 200, maybe you've got another lock lined up. Maybe you've got another play that you think is a sure thing, and this is a great opportunity provided to you by the good folks over at Caesars Sportsbook, as they offer you free bet insurance up to $1,100 on your first bet. Just make your deposit and make that first bet. Of course, make that first bet count, because Caesar will guarantee that bet up to $1,100. If you win, congratulations, you just put 2-1 in your pocket. But if you lose, Caesar says, you know what? That's all right. We understand. Bad beats happen. We'll make it up to you this time. So they'll make your bet good up to $1,100. Must use the code ATSWINS-CAESAR. That's ATSWINSCZR. That code is available in the show description, as well as the link to get you going. Available only in states where Caesars is, of course. Must be 21 to play. 18 will get it done in New Hampshire and Wyoming. And if you're clicking the links, I also have the link to my premium plays. If you'd like to get involved with that, I would love to have you as one of my subscribers. You can hit that link as well. And 2-1 on the premium side yesterday. Not too shabby. We got home in the Philadelphia San Francisco game. We had the over 9.5. Never a doubt. We had the over in the Mets game. That was well done. And missed out on the Angels, and we missed out. My play of the day, I had the Milwaukee Brewers minus 135. I misspoke. I said they had failed to protect 3 leads. They'd failed to predict 2 leads and 1 tie. So, my bad. Ryan's heading to the Phillies game. You guys like Rodon tonight? Chris and I talked a little bit about that. It is Rodon going up against Nola. Scott, what do you got there?
I'm not backing the Phillies. It's deja vu. We have this conversation every day. I mean, if you want to back Nola, who has been better lately, I don't blame you. But even if they have a lead, do you trust the bullpen? No.
Can't do it.
So why would I take the Phillies?
If I was going to get involved, I suppose it would be a first 5 play.
I was going to say first 5. Maybe you can go team total if you really don't trust Rodon. But the Phillies suck. I mean, I don't know what you want me to tell you. I mean, you're just going down the line here. They have a worse record than the Pirates. So they're actually worse in the state of Pennsylvania. They've lost 5 in a row. They've lost 7 of 8. They've given up at least 5 runs in 7 of those 8 games. They're just not a good baseball team. And we talked about it when we went through the NL East breakdown. You have Girardi, who loves to use the bullpen. That was a story with the Yankees. And the bullpen stinks. Not to mention the fact they're one of the worst defensive teams in the league. They paid a bunch of money to Schwarber and players. I know that Castellanos has been good, or pretty good. But you just go down the line. Are they a good baseball team? No, not really.
Can't close it out. Can't close it out. I think they have great talent, but they just and you and I talked about it on our preview show. They
addressed none of the bull. What are you going to do? Bring in Familia?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
That's the thing.
Like you didn't do anything for your bullpen.
By the way, our buddy Rye Cape is in the comment section. He says he loves to play Texas Hold'em. Rye, of course, is he's the new guy on our NASCAR show. Been having a lot of fun with Rye the last couple of weeks, so make sure you check out our NASCAR show. That's available usually about midnight Friday night. It'll go up there. So Eastern time. So if you're in the Central Zone, it's available even earlier than that. And yeah, he's a good dude. Knows his cars, Scott. Okay.
Nice.
Good chat.
Yeah.
He brought up a great tip, because this week is Gateway, and of course, not a lot of the guys have a ton of experience at Gateway. So he suggested that what he's going to be doing is watching. No, Scott. He's going to be watching truck races because they have run the trucks at Gateway. So watching some of the drivers that have driven trucks there, and
so you're just taking Kyle Busch.
See how they negotiated around.
Is that what you're saying? To look at the truck drivers, you're looking at Kyle Busch. Is that basically the story?
It's about time to stick Kyle Busch again. Yeah. Larry says Philly going to lose a lot more games. Yeah. That's almost certain. Certainly true.
It is what it is. Been the issue for years, and Girardi's a guy who tends to lean on the bullpen.
Yep, exactly right.
So.
Wears them out down the stretch, and we ain't even close to down the stretch yet. So, hey man, let's talk a little bit about what happened yesterday, shall we? Let's talk about the good news, the bad news, the winners, the whiners, the people that took it in the shorts, and the people that took it to the bank. It's time, man. It's hump day, baby. Let's talk about who had to get out their flip phone and call the cops. All right, man, we're going to start off in that game we just talked about, Scott. Giants-Phillies. If you had the Giants-Phillies under 9, congratulations. You're a great handicapper, man, because they only had 6 runs in the first 9 innings. Go ahead and cash your ticket. Oh, nope. Going to do extras. Well, okay, let's just keep it under control in extras. That's all we got to do. No, they scored 1 run each in the 10th, and that brought it to 9. You knew you were hoping for a push. And you didn't get it as the Giants exploded for 3 runs in the top of the 11th. They win that one 7-4. Scott and I win the farm, and I win my premium players some cash as we have the over in that game. But if you had the Giants-Phillies under 9, so sorry, call the cops.
I still can't believe Logan Webb was plus money, but whatever. Anyway, if you had the Twins and Tigers game 2 of the doubleheader, first 5 over 4.5, try to say that 5 times fast. You had 4 runs in the first 2 innings, and then you had nothing else. So you just needed 1 more run in the final 3, and you did not get it.
All right, and if you had that defensive struggle out there in Colorado between the Oilers and the Avalanche, you had the Oilers plus 1.5. In pretty good shape, man. They'd put up 6 goals, so you figure your puck line should be good, but 59 minutes into the game, it was good. They trailed with a 1 goal with less than a minute left. Scott, it's the empty netter. I talked to Chris last hour. I said, this is the equivalent. The empty net at the end of hockey games would be like, instead of kneeling down, the offense in an NFL game had to throw the ball at least 30 yards down the field.
I would say it's the equivalent of let's just say a fouling frenzy down the stretch of a basketball game.
Similar. Yep. Very similar to that because the totals can explode. The line can get covered. And that's exactly what happened last night as 22 seconds remained in the game as the Avalanche popped in the empty netter. Edmonton, they lose by the deuce. Oilers plus 1.5. Good value. Throw it in the trash.
I think I hit everything in that game. So I liked unfortunately, I did lose a bet on McKinnon over half a power play point. They scored 8 goals. He couldn't get a power play point. He was even on the ice for a power play goal. He just didn't touch the puck. But I liked Colorado team total over. I liked Edmonton team total over. I like Colorado in regulation. And, yeah, it was 8-6. So,
how much does this change if Kemper can't go?
I don't know if it changes anything, to be honest. I mean, you can make a serious argument that he's, of course, the much better goalie than the backup, but, well, Smith got pulled.
Right.
Totally shocked, by the way, that Smith got pulled. You know, who would have thought he would have been awful in game 1? Do you know any YouTube shows that were talking about how awful Smith would be in
No, well, there's probably some, but I know you and I have just been singing his praises endlessly.
Yeah, we think that he's a future Hall. No, he's a terrible goalie. I mean, I don't know what you want me to tell you.
Big game Mike.
I think it's going to matter, but at the end of the day, Smith is so bad, it kind of cancels each other out. It's like the same situation you had in the previous series because you have 2 goalies that you don't trust, Mike Smith versus somebody else. The difference is Colorado's supporting cast is actually on par, if not better, than Edmonton's, and I can't say the same about Calgary.
Yep, fair enough. All right, well...
Do you think it makes a difference? It might make it a couple of games longer, but I still think Colorado wins the series. I'm not picking Edmonton to pull off the upset here.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, I don't think it... As long as you've got Mike Smith in goal and you've got that Avalanche offense... I still think they're in good shape, but you're right. It could extend it from 4 games to 6, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's find out the good news, Scott. Let's find out the nice, easy wins, the ones who got to fire up that cigar early. Kick back, relax, and maybe catch up on Stranger Things because you didn't have to watch your games because they were over as you were sitting in the rocking chair.
So the first one, if you had the Mets -1.5 against the Nationals, they led 8-0 after 5 innings, and they won the game 10-0.
How about those Yankees? If you had those Yankees on the money line, that didn't take long. They led 4-0 after 1, and they end up winning that one 9-1. Angels offense. Where'd you go? Where are you? I know you're around here somewhere. Let's see if we can find you.
The offense. Thor got his ass kicked yesterday.
Oh, that's very true.
Returned to New York,
Oh,
first
that's true.
time in a while.
That's-
Yeah, not a good time.
Yeah, again, 1 run. So, yeah, I'll ask where the offense is. But
Just saying,
you're right.
They gave up 9.
The only thing surprising about Syndergaard was I didn't back him. The last time he pitched like shit, we were on him. So at least I was. I can't remember if we were both on him or not. But
yeah, and the last one in baseball, if you had the Mariners on the money line against the Orioles, they led 8-0 after 3, and they also won 10-0.
yeah, Baltimore doing what Baltimore should be doing right there. All right, so we need to talk about this just maybe a little bit more. We touched on it briefly, but let's go back to it and talk about odds makers. We seem to have at least one of these a day, and yesterday was no different. We're going to find out why is everybody whispering about the odds makers being drunk. So, Scott, we did have a hockey game yesterday, and woe to anyone that happened to be on the under because it was over quick.
We weren't on the under.
We were not on the under. No, sir. No, sir, we were not. I wasn't thrilled about the 7, but when you get it down to 6.5 or -130 or so, I was definitely a fan of that play. What about the 14 goals surprised you, other than the fact there was 14 goals? I mean, were you surprised that Smith was that bad?
No, I actually thought he was going to get pulled at some point in the game. I guess the one surprise was that I thought Colorado would be a little bit better defensively. I know for a fact Edmonton's not a good defensive team, so that did not surprise me at all. I think the one surprise was the fact that I truly thought the final goal of the first period was offsides, and they reviewed it, and then they counted it, and I thought it was offsides, but maybe from a different camera angle it was not. Did anything really surprise me? I guess Colorado almost blowing a 4-goal lead, but that was basically it. Every Edmonton game in the playoffs has been, besides the Kings series, has been chaos because they don't stop anybody, and their offense is great, and their goalie sucks. So, did anything truly shock me? No. Of course, 14 is 14. You were expecting something like 6-4. Maybe you get to 10, something like that. But really, no. The game went kind of the way that I thought it would, up tempo, back and forth craziness, and Edmonton gave up 8 goals. So, not really. You?
Yeah, I obviously you're going to be surprised you give up 14, but
that's what I'm saying. Like that number's a little bit high, but I was expecting 10, 9, maybe get a 5-4 game or something. But was I shocked Edmonton's defense was that bad and Smith was atrocious? No, of course not.
So, are we going to see if Kemper can't go next game? Are we going to see 7.5, Scott?
You might have to, or at least 7 with like a -120. But I'm still not taking the under.
Okay. Will you get involved at 7.5?
I'll have to consider it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Why not?
Yep. That's it.
Did you see anything from either goalie that suggests that you should not just
No.
be slamming the over? Of course not.
No, of course not. Absolutely not. So even Kemper, before he left, he gave up what, 2?
Oh, he wasn't good either.
Yeah. So not ideal. Not ideal at all. So yeah, odds makers a little bit tipsy when it comes to that game. We'll see if they can sober up and put that 7.5 and just dare you to bet the under, Skeets.
Do you think it'll be? Well, actually, I want to see if there is a line already. I'm assuming there is a line for game 2 already, but I got to assume it's at 7. But instead of +110, it's probably -115.
Yeah. Yep. Very good.
If it's still 6.5, I'm gonna laugh.
Oh yeah, you got to jump on that.
It is 7.5 at +110.
Jones says we were awesome yesterday. Joan, we try to be awesome every day, but we appreciate you the fine complimentary words for us. Thank you very much. Lex Steele in the hizzy. What's up, Lex?
So I did find some lines. It's 7.5 at +110 on FanDuel. The alternative has 7 at -146.
Now
I'm not going to say no.
I want to see what happens.
You know?
I want to see what happens with that number. I want to see if the number comes down.
I can shop around. Truth is, you could always just take an extreme juice 6.5 if you really think it's going to go over,
Right.
because you do get the overtime draw at 3-3. But
That's brutal,
I
though.
saw nothing that suggested you're going to see any type of adjustment. I mean, I see 7 on BetMGM at -135.
Okay.
I mean, that's probably what I would take.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you.
I don't really see an alternative. You can go 6.5 at -190, which I don't mind either. I mean, I've been taking tennis matches over 3.5. Same principle. You're going to be laying juice because you like your chances. I assume you're going to see each team get to 3 in game 2, and you might see Colorado get to 6. So, no, I still like the over.
Okay, very good. We do try to keep an emphasis on sports around here, but as we record this, a couple of comments. Apparently, the Heard Depp verdict has come through, and Amber Heard has been found liable for against slander, I guess. I don't know. I literally haven't watched 1 second of that trial.
Well, she's found liable, but libel and slander are 2 different things.
I understand that.
So I'm saying I don't know what she was. All the above?
I don't know.
I think she lost the case when reports came out that she crapped in the bed. I think it was over. That's the point of no return. You just lose.
Yeah, I use that phrase, and now I will never be able to use it again now without thinking of that.
Crap the couch?
Yeah, it's going to be crap the couch. Defamation. So, Scott looks 23 with no facial hair. Hey, thanks a lot. What about Reichel?
I was going to say, I think I look like 18 with no facial hair at this point.
You still get carded?
Yeah.
Okay.
I still do.
Brandon says he's too busy watching the Max Wagers Network. Hey, put that guy on the commercial.
I watched none of the trial.
No.
From what I heard from the get-go was that Amber seemed to be a bit nuts, and she allegedly snorted some cocaine while sitting on the witness stand.
I did see.
I respect the power move, regardless of if it was cocaine or not. But yeah, I don't think she did herself many favors in the court of public opinion.
I learned everything about current events from Twitter. That's really about the only thing. If I don't see it on Twitter, it's probably not going on. So
I didn't really care.
No,
to be honest.
No, I didn't.
Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know either one of them. I'm not getting any of the money.
How long did the trial take? Like a month?
Fuck, it seems like it. It does seem like it was a month, man. I don't know.
So what happened? She accused him of being like domestically violent?
I literally just came on and said I had no idea what's going on in this trial.
I'm just saying, is that just the basis? Like she just accused him of being abusive?
I think so. I don't know.
I don't know.
All right. So maybe somebody will help us out and tell us, number one, how much money is involved? Is he getting money from her? And what were the actual defamation? Was it about things she said about him being abusive or whatever?
I don't know. Willy Wonka -150 cashier tickets.
Definitely did coke on the stands. I used to, perhaps back in the day, not saying yes or no, but there maybe was a bar where those kind of things got done, is, crowded and dark and things like that. On the witness stand,
straw, dollar bill, key bump.
Sure, yeah, all of those, yeah, back when they had keys, sure, absolutely. I've ruined a few credit cards. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. If you do it in a hotel, you can just use the room key.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Oh, for God's sakes, the Royals really are a bad baseball team.
Oh, I was curious what game you were watching.
I was watching.
Yeah, not surprised they're losing to the Guardians again.
Santana couldn't get to first, and the pitcher was slow to cover. So, ground ball to first base. Yeah, that's a hit. Actually, it was a great pitch though. So, oofta. All right. Yep. I talked about my video last night about fading the Royals pretty much until further notice. I didn't love the pitching matchup today. I thought
apparently the Royals didn't love it either,
and I didn't love paying $150. Again, it didn't matter as the Royals are well on their way to losing. So, Brad Keller hasn't been awful today. They're getting death by 1,000 cuts, but it's a loss just the same, most likely. So, love it when we talk about back in the day. Well, the difference is with me, it's when Reagan was president, and with Scott, it's when Obama was president. So,
no, Bush.
Bush. The second Bush.
Yep, second one.
Okay, all right, very good. Back in the day in 2004,
Pretty much. I was 7.
Love you, buddy. Okay, so that being said,
Look, you can roast him all you want, but he threw a hell of a first pitch.
what's that?
Bush. Threw a hell of a first pitch.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. I can't. The guy absolutely.
It is a sports show after all. That was right down the middle.
Wearing a bulletproof vest and a jacket from the mound, not even in front of the mound.
No, it's the best first pitch of all time.
Yeah, it has to be.
Close second, Mike Tyson. Threw a hell of a 12-6 curveball. Mike Tyson.
Yeah, it was one of the all-time give you chills moments as he walked out on the infield as play resumed. You probably don't remember much of that, do you?
I was 4.
I know.
So no. I remember 9/11. I just don't remember the first pitch.
I told you it was my kid's first day of preschool. We still have their folders that they made that day. It said, "Welcome to preschool, 9/11/2001." Like, yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
The courtroom and the lawyers cleaned up. Well, Larry.
Well, Amber's lawyers cleaned up because anytime you get paid for losing a case, whether it was winnable or not, it's a separate story. But I mean, I enjoy getting paid when I lose.
They gave Johnny Depp $15 million and the witch. I'm assuming that's Amber Heard $2 million.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that seems like a 13.
But is she made of wood?
What else will float? A duck.
A duck.
God, what a funny movie. Okay.
Mm-hmm. One of my all-time favorite comedies.
Has to be. How about dodging the shoes in Iraq? Yes, very good, Dano.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and the dude not 1 but 2. Pretty good job. So, okay. What about the hockey game tonight, bud? Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back home. Well,
you have 2 teams that I am not a big fan of as an Islanders fan.
By the way, that makes for the worst sports talk show ever. Well, Scott, how about that hockey game tonight? What about it?
Yeah. But the thing is, I have a play that I on it.
Okay.
I have the first period under.
All right.
At 1.5. I'm not taking the over. It's kind of the opposite of the other series because unlike Smith and Francouz in net, you have the best 2 goalies in the league.
Right.
And you can make an argument that Vasilevsky's already a top 5 goalie of all time. I'm just going to go with the under. I'll assume it's going to finish 2-1, 3-1, something like that. I took the first period because I really hate the empty netter sweats at the end. So I just see a low-scoring defensive struggle.
So you and I took Chesterkin over saves the other day, and that easily got there. And one of the reasons that we liked that play is because this Rangers defense has just been dreadful at trying to save him a little bit of trouble. They ain't making any friends with Igor the way they played. Do you think this defense can somehow get any better, Scott?
Well, the reason why I wasn't interested in the saves is because in games 1 and 2 against Carolina, they actually did a better job. So I am curious if in the beginning stages of a series, they might pack it in defensively, and then it might slowly open up as the series progresses. So I decided to stay away from it, but in reality, no. I still want to find out officially Braden Point's playing. I think he is.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he's playing.
Let me see if I can get any details. By the way, Andrew says he's I believe he's tailing you because you just laid out your pick here recently. So
according to some reports, Point did skate with the Lightning ahead of Game 1. So it's still up in the air, but maybe he's going to play.
Okay.
But Tampa has so much offensive firepower. So if you're asking me, do I expect him to go over in saves? Probably. Because the Rangers have been known to give up a lot of shots. They kind of stole the Islanders' approach with Trotz, which is give up a bunch of shots, but make them low percentage shots, and you'll find a way to win games anyway.
Okay.
And that's kind of the thought process behind that philosophy. And Tampa is not afraid to get a bunch of shots on net. So I don't mind the over there, but I still think the safer play is just to assume both goalies will be good and take the under.
Okay. And who do you like to win?
Game 1's tricky because the Rangers have been really good at MSG. I really just think the Lightning are a much better hockey team, especially if Point's able to play the majority of the series. I got the Lightning in 5, so I guess I'm just taking Lightning Game 1 because I don't think the Rangers are going to win many games in the series.
Okay.
Do you?
No, They might steal 2. I think is their ceiling.
I think they need Igor to steal a couple, but when it comes to 5-on-5, who's the better hockey team?
Not a question.
I think it's Tampa, and I don't think it's very close.
No, and I've got to go with the experience. I've got to go with the team that's been here before, and I've got to go with the best goalie until I'm proven wrong. So, got it. Okay, there you go. So they did not give up a grand slam in the 7th inning to the Guardians. Congratulations, Royals. Way to go. Only drove it to the warning track. So you've got Rangers. You got Tampa Bay in 5. You like Tampa Bay tonight, laying the -125. You like the under. You like the over on Chesterkin saves.
I'm leaning to Tampa. I'm not going to actually have a play on the money line because anytime you have 2 great goalies, you really don't know what's going to happen.
Okay.
But I do like the under as my favorite play.
All right. Very good. Very good indeed. I know we do have a play of the day from the Diamond as far as our farm play goes. But, Scott, what else gets your attention there today? What else that hasn't already kicked off do you like tonight?
I really have not been that intrigued by the card today. It's pretty light. If you want to go through some baseball games, which already started, I was a fan of the Mets, but nobody cares now because that game's already underway. I really didn't like much on the card. I'm just happy that there's a playoff game I could actually watch because I'm still waiting for the NBA to start. I get you want to give them some extra time, but you really couldn't start on Wednesday?
Yeah, I get that. This is some days hosting.
Do you like the card today? Because I don't think it's very good.
No, a lot of times we have games that we like early, and we can't play them just for logistical reasons because they've already gone off by the time that the show is going on. That was not necessarily the case today. I'm pretty much an auto fade of the Royals at this point, but other than that, not much I wanted to get involved with. It was a tough card, and it was interesting doing
Total
Chaos last night when we had to come up with and she keeps Allie, we love you, but stop putting the Cubs on there. She keeps putting Cubs home games up there, and then surprise, there's never a total the night before.
I don't think it was said on air, but I did tell you that I thought Alexander would get the start, and apparently Lindblom is not pitching, so Alexander did get the start against Hendricks. I guess I'm leaning to the over there because Hendricks has been awful, and Alexander hasn't pitched yet this season. But, we went through a couple totals on Total Chaos, and I guess those are the ones I'm leaning towards, but do I have any real thoughts? No. Once again, I think it's a pretty underwhelming card. The White Sox first 5 might be tempting because Kopech's been good and Ryu has been mediocre, but the White Sox aren't a good team. We're saving our favorite play from the late card for the farm.
Right.
But I don't really like anything. Do you? I don't think I think it's a pretty underwhelming situation.
Okay. I'm curious about the Dodgers game. And Andrew,
they're laying about 4,000 when they've lost the first couple games of the series.
Well, Dano just asked the question, can you believe a possible Pirate sweep? Well,
why not? Quintana's been good.
Sure. This is arguably the most favorable pitching matchup of the series, right?
Yeah.
And they've managed to break through and win those other 2, so
they won with Mitch Keller pitching. I don't if that doesn't tell you something, then I don't know what will.
Well, they've been -300 the first 2 games, and now they're just -250. So, yeah, the world.
Pittsburgh's the face of Pennsylvania baseball now because they're better than the Phillies.
Yeah, I know, and I know that's a big deal for sure. 3-0 Mets. There you go. And Bill says he likes Golden State Game 1, Celtics for the series. I don't hate it.
We'll see. I think Golden State wins the series, but it should be competitive.
You are hardly an objective reporter at this point.
I am a completely objective reporter at this point. I hedge everything. What are you talking about?
No, I'm just saying you have a vested interest in the outcome of that series.
I'm like the most pessimistic futures better of all time. I just assume my team's going to fall apart every time. I originally liked Boston, but I thought about it. And with Gary Payton II being back to help defensively, I wonder if the lack of experience is going to catch up to Boston.
What kind of mindset is that? I expect a shitty future, so I would like to make a lot of futures bets.
No, I'm saying as it gets closer and closer to winning, I have more and more doomsday scenarios that pop into my head. That's what I mean.
That is just okay.
That's how it works,
Okay. All
You've
right.
come this far. You just assume it's never going to come up easy. I'll tell you what. The one thing I've learned from gambling for the last, I don't even know, 8 years, it's always a sweat. It always is. And as soon as you let your guard down, boom, comes back to bite you. So, no, I am fully anticipating a war, but I think Golden State gets it done.
Okay. All right. Very good. Yeah, we'll be talking about that game tomorrow as well as the series.
Well, who are you taking in the series?
I have to back Golden State. I just do. Other than the one game where they got blown out, the lows for Golden State have been higher than the lows for Boston.
And the one game Golden State lost, of course, but they were down 50, was a closeout game that you can argue they just didn't really care about.
Right. After we mercifully made fun of people, or unmercifully made fun of people who thought that there was some sort of strategy. Well, we'll just blow this game off so we can close it out at home, and we poo-pooed that about how ridiculous that was. That's what they exactly did. They go out and lose by 40.
I still think the
come up and
lowest
close it
of
out.
lows, not including the Nets sweep, but the Celtics losing Game 6 at home is one of the lowest lows I've seen from a finals team in a long time.
Yeah.
I have no idea how they lost that game.
Just didn't show up. Well, you could argue. Well, in fact, I would argue vehemently that Phoenix Game 7 was worse.
Yes, okay, that's a fair point. Phoenix is definitely the lowest of lows. I was talking about a team that made the finals.
Oh, okay.
That had like serious red flag losses.
Yeah.
The Golden State one, you're on the road.
Right.
Whatever. You can go back home after that. Boston was at home. Miami was dead to rights.
Yeah.
And then you had to travel back to Miami to close it out because you punted a home game in Game 6. I still have no idea how that happened.
I think that comes back to bite them, at least in Game 1. I think because of that.
I don't trust them to close games.
Well, no, that's definitely true. And I think
You're talking about stamina purposes.
Golden State has the rest advantage, correct?
I don't know what rest advantage even means, though, because nobody's played in 3 days.
Now, true. But, there's a
it
difference.
Might impact the injury recovery for Smart and Robert Williams.
Yeah, well, so instead of having a week off, they got 3 days off.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not ideal. So, especially
But I don't trust Boston to close games late, which I think is how Golden State will find a way to open up a multi-game lead at some point in the series. I just think Boston's going to be in a good spot, potentially at home. They'll be up 5 with 3 minutes to go, and suddenly Boston has a bunch of awful possessions in a row, and Golden State sneaks it out.
Three-pointer, turnover, drive to the hoop, and one, it's over.
From down 5 to up 3, and they steal a road game. Like, I can see that.
Yeah, absolutely. This is an experienced team that's been here, done that. And I think it's a weird mix, Scott, because you had the Golden State super team with the big three that are still there, but there was such a gap between that time and this time that I think they can appreciate it anew. It's not like that team is back in the playoffs. It's pretty much a completely different team, except for obviously those 3 guys.
Pretty much.
Okay, solid. All right. Well, anything else before we get rolling here, buddy?
Not really. Once again, not the greatest card in the world, so don't spend all your money on it.
I will say some days, Scott, hosting the show is more difficult than others. Some days it just flows.
Well, I don't give you much to work with some days.
That's kind of my point. Some days we're having great conversations. We have to cut it short.
We can have a big conversation if you want to, but you can pick the topip because the sports games tonight are not going to be the main topic.
If only one of us would have watched the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial where we could fucking talk about it.
I don't even know if there's anything to talk about. The trial was an interesting concept for a week, and then you realize that thing's still going on.
Right.
It just kept dragging along.
I felt that way with the NASCAR race the other night. It was the Heard Depp trial of sports. As like 1 o'clock in the morning, they're fucking still racing.
Hey, you look back, that's still going on?
I couldn't believe it. So, all right. Well, let's do it, guys. It's Wednesday. It's hump day. We're going to get you out of here a little early. It's a beautiful day. Go out and take advantage of that. Have a little extra recess if you guys will. Let's do it. It's time once again to grab your overalls, put them on, get that straw hat, get it just so on your head. Just get that perfect straw hat angle. Climb aboard your John Deere, get out your keys, put them in the ignition, and fire that bad boy up because, ladies and gentlemen, once again, it is time to bet the farm. All right. Wow, I was going to say just like magic, and we have our hats on.
I got it. Sorry, I just got a text message at the last minute.
Oh, well, sorry.
My friend's expecting a package, so apparently UPS was trying to reach me or something. I don't know, whatever.
Okay.
All good.
This one is not going in the Podcast Hall of Fame. I'm just saying.
I didn't know there was a Podcast Hall of Fame.
Scott, I know we had a farm play yesterday. How did that go?
We had a winner. We had the Giants plus 110, and they ended up winning in extras.
Never a doubt. Cue the banjos. Yeehaw.
Ma'am?
All right. Well, Scott, I know we have a farm play cooked up for today as we try to keep our winning streak going. What do we got?
So we're going to go back to baseball, looking at a team total in the Mariners and Orioles game. We're going to take the Mariners team total over 4.5 runs. Seattle's been very good offensively recently, as the Mariners have scored at least 5 runs in 5 of their last 6 games. On top of that, Seattle scored at least 6 runs in 3 of their last 4 games, so Seattle seems to be playing its best offense of the season. Baltimore's pitching, not very good recently. The Orioles have allowed at least 10 runs in 2 of their last 3 games, and you have Bradish on the mound for Baltimore. I don't want to say it's his last appearance of the season, but it might be, because he's been awful. The last 3 starts, 11 and 1/3 innings pitched, 11.91 ERA. He's been brutal. Seattle's been good offensively. 4.5 for a guaranteed 9 at-bats on the road. We're going to take it. Give us Seattle team total over.
There you go. That's going to do it for the farm, everybody. We like the Mariners team total over 4.5, getting it done against Bradish. This is a Baltimore team that is no stranger to giving up a shit ton of runs. By the way, Scott, it seems like an unnatural amount of time that when the still shot for the YouTube videos go up, which we have no control over whatsoever, it's always us wearing the hats. Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, we do. We do 45 minutes without hats, 2 minutes with hats, and that's what always shows up inevitably. So anyway, you guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. You can always get us in podcast form. You can download that. Available wherever you get your podcast. It's usually ready about 20 minutes after the show is done, so check that out if you're on the go. As always, we appreciate you watching. Don't forget to check out all the great content here at the Max Wagers Network, but especially once you come back and see us tomorrow, as Scott and I will once again do our very best in that never-ending journey to help you guys to head back to the window. Take care, everybody. We'll see you then.